Brendan Donovan is a Mariner. So, is the Cardinals offseason complete? Welcome back to Cardinals on My Time. I am Scott Plaza, and has the Cardinals offseason officially come to an end? Chaim Bloom struck again and dealt who was said to be one of the most valuable pieces in all of baseball. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Let's get started with Cardinals on My Time.
I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
Now, before we get into it, I just wanted to take a quick moment to again ask you for a like, follow, and subscribe so you can get all of the latest content. Find me on Twitter at Mr. Plastastic17, as well as the Redbird Rundown podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, last we spoke, I brought in player interviews from winter warm-up, and we were discussing the opportunity that those players were going to have on the field and in the clubhouse for the young guys that make up the Cardinals roster. Now, much of those conversations were with the expectation that Brendan Donovan would be traded, and it finally happened. So we heard at the start of the offseason Chaim Bloom saying that he needed to be blown away by a Donovan offer in order to send him out for a deal. Now, at the time, I was like, okay, here's just Chaim raising the bar a little bit, raising his asking price so it doesn't look like he's always picking on the first deal, because he seemed really quick to trade Sonny Gray and both Wilson Contreras, both to Boston, both for major league returns with some minor league lottery tickets. And then just 2 weeks from the start of spring training, it seemed like we were ready to head to spring training in Jupiter to the brand new Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium with Brendan Donovan on the roster. But finally, after months of speculation, that asking price was met, and the Cardinals officially dealt Brendan Donovan to the Seattle Mariners in a 3-team deal involving the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, and joining me to break down the trade from two sides are returning guests and everyone's favorites, Redbird Farmhands and Aidan Gray from Redbirds on the Arch. So they're going to talk about this from both the major league and minor league side of things. And then joining me for my very first non-Cardinal guest, fellow baseball banter broadcast contributor and content machine, Roman Rodriguez. So welcome on, gentlemen. Before we talk Cardinals, I want to first welcome in Roman. We never heard much about like a 3-team deal at all, and then we started hearing like there were some rumors, and then before you know it, hey, here's Tampa Bay. So whenever we hear Tampa Bay in a trade, anybody gets concerned, I would say that. So from your end, what was it like just seeing you guys pop up out of nowhere?
It was kind of like a pickup game of like, I don't know, basketball. It's like, hey, you want to play? It's like, sure, let me go grab my sneakers. Sure. You want Colton Ledbetter? Why not? Okay, cool. Hey, how about throwing a comp B pick? Cool. Who do I get? It doesn't matter. We're good. Game on. Yeah, so it was a very unique situation. So, but I'm glad to be included into this podcast. You guys are great. And we'll get more into the whopping one guy that we got and the few guys that we gave you guys. So, high five.
Hey, participation trophies. Everybody wants to get involved. So let's break down to kind of what actually happened. So we heard last night, Jerry DiPoto was like, hey, we've been pushing for one more player. And that immediately, I think Farmhands, you were one of the first ones that kind of posted that I saw, was just like, hey, keep an eye on this sort of thing. So that kind of meant we were pushing towards Brendan Donovan. And then this afternoon, we saw, this was really as I was pulling in from school today, a report that a deal was close. And then shortly after, we heard it was a 3-team deal. We waited for a return, waited. Then we heard Ben Williamson was going to Tampa. All right, cool. So St. Louis is just sitting here. So we waited. Then we heard about Jurrangelo Cijntje. Dang it, we talked about it this whole time. And this is what Aidan and I had talked about prior to this. Then wait. And then we got the full trade details. So Brendan Donovan going to Seattle, Ben Williamson going to Tampa. Then we got Cijntje, outfielder Tai Peete from Seattle. Then Tampa kicked in Colton Ledbetter, and then we got 2 Comp B picks as well. So after all, this is a Cardinals podcast. So sorry, Roman, I'm going to push you aside real quick. Farmhands, hit me with it. Is Chaim cooking, or what do we got?
Chaim is cooking. This is an absolute steal of a trade, I would say, especially with the 2 Comp picks. Like, I'll say that it kind of rolled in really slowly. So we thought first, oh, is it just Cijntje? And I don't know if anybody saw, but Talkin' Baseball posted like the graphic of like just Cijntje and then Williamson and and Donovan, and everybody was freaking out on the Cardinals side. And then we heard obviously Tai Peete was involved, and then it took another couple hours, and then we figured out that Ledbetter and the 2 picks were involved. And I mean, so like I went over a whole range of emotions through about 4 hours. But overall, I think the Cardinals came out pretty well with this. I think, you know, you got your main guy in Cijntje, and then after that, you got a couple lottery tickets and then some draft picks you can do some stuff with.
Yeah, Farmhands was so jacked up he put all the weights on the house under that bar and was benching a little bit before the start of this, and then that got us distracted. That we distracted Aidan from his research over on Perfect Game and PBR. So Aidan, what do we think about what happened over here?
Yeah, I think it was a deal, first off, that needed to happen. I think none of us knew if it was actually going to come to fruition, and it finally did. Um, but I thought it was a great deal. I think prospect wise, if it would have just been those three guys, I think the value would have been matched there. I think it's kind of what St. Louis Cardinals fans were expecting, but they threw in two comp picks, and that just kind of made the deal even better for St. Louis. You know, I feel like they got great value out of that, especially with the deep draft coming up. It's going to provide great value. So I think Chaim definitely cooked with this one. I think he did a really good job, and he waited patiently, and it was worth the wait for sure.
And we'll talk about that waiting game too and see if that paid off. Aidan, we'll get to you. I know you did a little bit of a dive on Ledbetter before, but Roman, let's send it back to you since you are just go ahead and take him. What's the take on Ledbetter? What is it that you either don't care about
So
or what we're getting rid of?
no, 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 no. All in all, I really like Ledbetter a lot. He was a high draft pick from a couple years back. Just oozes swagger, oozes charisma. When you guys were talking about the Hall, I'll get back to Ledbetter in a second. But when you guys were talking about the Hall, like with the comp pick, I have a feeling that Chaim Bloom called up his old boys in the Rays front office to say, "Hey guys, remember that party, New Year's Eve, 2014? Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. You see the picture right here? Give me a comp B pick." Oh, yeah. And Ledbetter? Yeah. Yeah. Yo, ho, 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 ho. I have a feeling that that's somehow it came about. It's like, yeah. I completely tanked the Red Sox for 2 years for you. For 2 years, boys. For you guys. You're welcome. You owe me. But no, getting back to Ledbetter, he's a solid ball player all the way around. He reminds me a little bit of Carlos Gonzalez in terms of his skill set. He's very athletic. He has a damn good arm. Can I say damn?
Oh, absolutely. You already did. So
Okay. All right. All right. Well, damn the man. Anyway, so that's four. There you go. No, but getting back to it,
Yeah.
in terms of his hit set, all he does is just he's a solid ball player all the way around. I've been watching him since he was in the minor league system. Very impressive. He's one of the guys that he was never the star in the minor league system. There was always somebody overshining him, whether it was Xavier Isaac, whether it was a few other guys in the systems that continually got the shine, and he just picked up hit after hit, 280, 275, just solid all the way around. You watch a Montgomery Biscuits game, and there he is. He's going 2 for 4 and doing something spectacular in the outfield, whether it's throwing some guy out at third or at home. So I was really hoping that the Rays would hold on to him, but we got a couple guys. The thing about the Rays with their trading history is they generally do not just trade a guy, they usually have a replacement. So with Colton Ledbetter, they already got the Slayton DeBrun, the pickup that they got from the Orioles, which you're welcome for the comp B pick. There you go, Shane Baz, and hey, that's you're now part of the Delman Young lore. There you go, that comp pick. There you go, there you go, full circle. But no, and yeah, you guys should have a lot of fun with him. He's a solid player, and he's just oozes charisma. Yeah, he's just a good dude, sincerely. So treat him well. And we got one guy for him. Yeah, yeah. Ben Williamson.
See, and
Wow.
that's the thing. If the Rays are giving up on someone, that's where it's like, well, did the Cardinals actually get a deal, or like, what do the Rays see? But like you're saying, they've got somebody else already in there. So Aidan,
Yeah.
Aidan, you want to go into your dive? I know you and Farmhands both did a little bit of a dive, but I was watching that video you posted before we were on. So Aidan, what's your Ledbetter look?
Yeah. First off, I think it's a guy that does need a little bit of development still. He took a step back in 2025 compared to 2024, and especially compared to his college metrics. Yeah. In college, he was really good at making contact. I think he was around like 84%. That's an ideal contact percentage. Um, and when he got to, I believe it was high A in 2024, it was 70%. And in 2025, it was 74%. So both years having a contact percentage below 75% is not ideal. Um, but the difference is he does walk about 9% of the time. So clearly he doesn't chase. He's a guy who makes good swing decisions. It's clearly just a matter of putting bat to ball when strikes are thrown. Um, but what really intrigues me is the power he has. I saw videos of him. The swing is beautiful. It's vicious. He's aggressive with his swing. Um, he had really good pull side power in 2024. Um, he hit, I believe it was 14 home runs off right-handed pitchers in 2024, 2 off left-handed pitchers. However, though, that pull side power in 2025 did significantly drop. So obviously that's something the Cardinals are going to have to figure out again with him. Um, Defensively, he's an average fielder. I think Farmhands would probably say the same. Um, doesn't have like great instincts, but it's not like poor instincts either.
Yeah.
He could maybe stick in center field. I think he'd be better in a corner outfield spot. The arm strength isn't super strong, so left field probably profiles best for him. But the bat's got to be better if he's going to be a corner outfield bat for sure. But I'm excited about him. It's a lottery ticket, and I think if you develop right with him, he's a guy that, and I'm sorry to say this, but the Rays might be kicking themselves for giving up. He could be our Randy Arozarena, if that makes sense.
That's where I was going to get to at some point, but I guess Aidan already kind of transferred that. Who from the Tampa Bay side, who won the deal for Matthew Liberatore or Randy Arozarena?
For Ledbetter, in clearly it was the fans that won. No, no. No, guys, are you seriously? With all due respect and thinking about it honestly, it had to be the Rays, because what they did is for Liberatore, they turned Randy Arozarena into now Brody Hopkins and also Aiden Smith, which I'm sure you guys like that name, Aiden. You're welcome. So, and he's going to be a solid player in his own right, I feel. He's kind of a right-handed version of Ledbetter, a little bit. Yeah. Coming back to that. So, getting back to it, I gotta say, currently, because Liberatore just didn't take that next step that we all thought he was. When he was playing in low A, then the Bowling Green Hot Rods, he was in the same starting lineup with our starting rotation with Shane Boss, and they were just lighting up, doing very well. A little bit wild here and there, but they had a lot of promise and they look really good. And when he was traded to St. Louis, I know he had the injuries. I know he had a couple of setbacks, things to that accordance, and he's a good kid. I think maybe he was in his own head too, in my opinion. I think he put a lot of pressure on himself, especially in a bigger market like St. Louis versus playing before, maybe 20,000 a night in a Trop versus playing at the historic Busch Stadium. I think a lot of that went to it, unfortunately, and he just hasn't turned out the way that you guys wanted. You wanted an ace, you traded for an ace, you paid for an ace, and you're getting maybe a third or fourth at times. Now, he did pitch a hell of a game against the Rays that one time. Yeah, that was fun. That's like having your ex slash your tires. It's like, oh, great, this is awesome. And then you're paying for her night out. That was awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, but no. So am I wrong with that assessment? I don't feel so, because we got value, and we continue to get value. But that's how the Rays kind of go, is the conveyor belt of value. 3 or 4 years, then they turn him into some guy new, 2 or 3 picks, maybe a guy that they really value, and 2 underlying guys that might be something, so on and so forth. Am I tripping?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
We just had to get that involved again.
No problem. You guys don't want to talk about a Tommy Pham trade? That turned out well for you guys too.
We're running low on time here, so let's keep things
no
moving.
problem.
So Farmhands, we got Aidan opportunity to kind of jump in with Ledbetter, but he talked that you were doing that research too. So I'll let you jump in with any Ledbetter, but then also go to the Seattle side, either with Tai Peete or Cijntje, who we've kind of touched on already too.
I'll just do a little thing here on Ledbetter. I'm a little bit more optimistic than Aidan is personally on the defense. I think he's very fast. He's 37, 34 stolen bases the last couple of years. I think he has the speed to stick in center field. The speed kind of makes up for the instincts a little bit. The
I
arm
like
is
his assessment
average.
better. I don't feel as bad.
The arm is average. I've seen some throws where he can get above average, but like overall, I feel like the arm's average. And the hitting profile, like Aidan mentioned, is a power over hit tool profile right now. But like Aidan said, 16 home runs in 2024. He can get to that pull side power pretty well when he needs to, and I'm excited. I think it's better than just your normal lottery ticket you would get in a trade usually like this. And then I'll move on to the Seattle stuff. I'll talk about Tai Peete since we kind of already mentioned Cijntje. I'm gonna get that name mixed up a million times.
I'm glad you guys have to say it because I just called him Mr. C. We're good.
Yeah. So Tai Pete's interesting because funny enough, I don't know if anybody saw my tweet that I put out. He is from the Peachtree City, Georgia area. Guess who also is from the Peachtree City, Georgia area? This guy right here. Guess who played with him in Little League when we were 12 and 13 years old? This guy right here. So I have a personal scouting report of Tai Peete from about 8 years ago.
So does that hold up? And are you guys good in? Well, you probably got the better of him. Is he going to be allowed on Redbird on the Arch, or is he? Is there going to be a little bit of bad blood there?
He will be allowed on Redbird on the Arch if he wants to come on. So,
okay.
It's an open invitation.
So don't bury lead. How did he like his high C? Was he a guy that poked it twice? Or, come on, tell me a little bit. I'm kidding. No, that's really cool, man. Sincerely.
Yeah, but so back then he was a little bit more small and scrawny, and he was really fast. So that still holds up in the scouting report. He's still really damn fast and good arm and good range in the outfield. Obviously, kind of similar to Ledbetter. It's a power over hit profile. He only hit like 217 this past year, but hit for like 19 home runs as a 20-year-old and low and high A. So like you can obviously see there's a ton of tools here for him to grow into eventually something that's really special. It's just, can the Cardinals get him to a little bit less swing and miss and not striking out 30% of the time?
And it sounds like a lot of what the outfield is kind of. We got the lefty outfielders. There's the ones with the power. There's ones with the swing and miss, and we're gonna just kind of hopefully get an average between the two. Aidan, do you got anything on the Seattle return? And then I got a question from the outside for Roman.
Yeah, I think Farmhands is pretty spot on with Tai Peete. Contact percentages were actually worse with Tai Peete than they were with Ledbetter, so that's a little alarming. But like I said, spot on Farmhands when it comes to evaluating Tai Peete. I'm a little more optimistic about Cijntje than I think a lot of Cardinals fans are. The right-handed profile is a lot better. Cardinals are known for developing changeups recently. I think if you elevate the changeup on him, he's got a weapon against left-handed hitters. That's been his biggest struggle so far as a pro pitcher. So I'm excited about him. I'm ready to see a right-handed pitcher in the farm system that has talent. I mean, the only other one is what? Takoa Roby? There are and Tanner Franklin too.
Rest of the Cardinals organization. Jeez.
And Tanner Franklin, but I mean, Tink Hence is kind of hurt all the time, and I mean there are other guys, but the level that Jurrangelo is, there's Roby's probably the closest, and then Franklin's got some development to do still. So.
Yeah, and I saw Kyle Reese on Twitter point out that Jurrangelo as a righty-only prospect profiles as higher prospect than if he were to be the switch pitcher. So, and that's what the Mariners said, that he was going to be throwing as a righty starting pitcher with maybe lefty in the bullpen in between starts and here and there. But it sounds like that's what we kind of figure is best for his career. But that kind of takes us to the end of the trade. I don't really want to talk about Ben Williamson or anything. Sorry about that, Roman. But I do want to get your take from the outside as the first non-Cardinal affiliated guest. You're obviously a big baseball fan. You're part of the Baseball Banter broadcast. I want to throw that out again, where we're talking all things baseball all the time. What does it look like as a Rays fan in Tampa, checking out what's going on in St. Louis and kind of seeing them really tear it down for the first time after being so traditionally competitive?
Well, it looks like something I'm very familiar with, first and foremost, and that's because you got Mr. Chaim Bloom. Mr. Chaim Bloom knows a little bit about how to stockpile a farm system. You're seeing a lot of his fingerprints on Boston. Boston was quick to be impatient with him and send him out, and he found a wonderful landing spot in the beautiful confines of St. Louis. In terms of what you guys are doing, just look at the your Donovan's trade right now. Your trade right now, you're getting a lot. Granted, it's not major value. It may be your role players and maybe guys that will be a part of another deal later on, if they can get developed. So don't look to print off those jerseys just yet, for right now. But it is something that just be patient with the process, enjoy the process. Definitely invest a little bit in the MILB package and watch your guys grow and really invest into that experience. But in terms of what you guys are doing, there is a lot of potential there because you guys are getting athletes and you're getting a lot of guys that you can kind of see in some lights they are interesting. But are they the 2005 Devil Rays, which you can't remember anybody unless you ask me about it? Are they going to be the 2007 Devil Rays, which were part of obviously some winning baseball teams, one World Series and then a couple of league championships? It's only time will tell. But to me, I feel that they're doing a lot of positive things. You guys have a lot of potential. Um, but it's just about how you guys can do that rebuild properly and really have some name brand guys have a core group of guys that your outstanding fan base, which I think just about every franchise wishes they had a fan base like St. Louis. Really, in all honesty, I'm not saying that because I'm just on your podcast. I would say that if you're on any other podcast and probably to the ear of the guys who are from the Bronx. It's like, oh, hey, whoa, 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 hey, come on, guys, hey. But no, getting back to it, I really think that Heim is doing a lot of good things and he is going to be great. And if he gets any more guys from our top 30, I might riot. Sincerely. Colt Ledbetter is like, you son of, how good for you, Heim. That's great. That's great. Yeah. But yeah, that's my take. That's my take.
Well, and that's good to hear. Still, there's some positivity because the last couple years have been tough, and we sound spoiled, but the last few years have been tough.
Well,
So I know that's why I had to say we sound spoiled. That it sounds tough, but
you guys are too close to the sun, man. If you step back, it's like a painting. Okay, all right. Everyone thinks that Degas sucks until you stand back and go, "Oh, well, I'll be damned." Okay, yeah, now I see it. Okay, cool. Huh, look at that. That crap actually looks good. Huh. All right.
and that's what I think that Chaim Bloom has been able to do, because I think if it was still Mozeliak doing this, everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, here it is again." And just the fresh face, I think, does help with that step back. But this talk of rebuild, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Is I was just doing some on the pod research because I tweeted this out I think yesterday, and Farmhands, you responded to this. DraftKings thinks and FanDuel are not high on the Cardinals. Last year, the Cardinals won 78 games. See, Roman, it hurts. 78 games. It really hurts. And that was with Miles Michaelis all year. Eric Fetty with 20 starts. Both of them are gone. Sonny Gray's gone. Wilson Contreras, yes, that hurts. Arenado's gone. But I just checked now, and this is as of February 2nd, after the Donovan trade. They have the Cardinals at 69.5 at plus 100 odds. And I took them at 71.5 yesterday, and I just took them again live on the pod. So going around the room as of this moment, February 2nd, Aidan, let's start with you. Over under 69.5.
I'm going to say over. I think they're going to be at like 73.
That just sounds, 69.5 just sounds so low. That's 6 in front. Tyler, what do you think? Or sorry, Farmhands, what do we think?
Over. I think this team in the aggregate's going to be, kind of like similar to last year's team, right? Like obviously you're not going to get Sonny Gray at the front end, leading that rotation, but you just hope that Hunter Dobbins and Richard Fitz are at least a little bit better than what Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty gave you and Palante. So, and then on the offensive side, you're not going to make up for Donovan and Wilson, but if if Jordan Walker can get a little bit better and Victor Scott and JJ Weatherholt's pretty solid, like if everybody could just make up 10% versus last year, I think we could kind of pick up the scraps and be something similar than last year.
Roman, from the outside, we're hurting over here. 69.5.
You know what? You guys are all special. You're all God's children. God bless you. God bless you. No. All jokes aside, to be frank with you, and the way I look at it is, where are your wins going to come from? Okay, the Pirates are looking better. Say what you will. The Cubs are looking better. Every team in the Central is looking better, except for one team, unfortunately. So I cannot be that optimistic. I'm the friend that tells you, guys, it's time to cash out because she is not Cindy Crawford. Guys, just get in the car. Fellas, get in the car. No.
Wow.
Just saying. Hey, look, it takes a true friend to say that you need a tab out. All right?
Wow. So you're telling me if there's a cash out option to take that right now. Wow.
For 69 wins, and I'm an optimist, dude. Sincerely, I feel that the Rays will win 86 games. Okay, just because we got the pitching to nullify the other awesome offenses. And so I think we got an outside shot for a wild card team. Everyone else thinks that we're going to win 77 games, and that's fine. Go ahead. But no, getting back to your Cardinals is just trying to be optimistic. Where are the wins going to come from? That's where I got to come from. And I don't mean to be yes, I realize that in St. Louis, they're not going to invite me over. I've made no one's Christmas list whatsoever, and so that's okay. That's all right, guys. And you can hit me up at Rome de Rod on X and just say, hey, you're completely wrong. I'm fine with that. I appreciate that. But no, sincerely, I can't see where your wins are coming from, gentlemen, at least as of right now. Now, hey, look, spring training, WBC, people get injured. Edwin Diaz celebrates, busts a knee. Who knows? You never know what could happen in that time period. Paul Skeens could have Tommy John, and then there you go. Hey, there's 2 wins right there, guys. You just keep on packing. Then before you know it, that 66 wins are starting to become 72 very quickly. But it's hard to say. But still, there's a lot of positives I have, but I don't see where the wins are coming from, fellas. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to pretend we didn't ask you and then end with how you wanted to be, how all other fan bases wanted to be just like the Cardinals fan base.
I really wish that was all, that we could be like the Cardinals, sincerely. Guys, okay, no, do the edit. Here we go, 5-4. I feel that we should have 83 wins.
You heard it here first. Roman Rodriguez says the St. Louis Cardinals are winning the 2026 World Series. So anyway, we have finally hit February. Let's wrap this thing up. So it's in February, which means we're about to see dudes in tank tops and shorts stretching in the Florida sun. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
So Roman's getting ready for spring break, but it's definitely starting to smell like baseball. So for Redbird Farmhands, for Aidan Gray and Roman Rodriguez, I am Scott Plaza. This was Cardinals on My Time. Thanks for hanging.